Not sure what time will be put in at. Can only hope that we didn't miss too much, which we probably did. Oh, put me at the very beginning. Nice. Well, looks like we got in at game 1 here, folks, for some strange reason. Technical difficulties aside, I'm surprised to see that we got in here. And going down the line, we see Tyler Stewart on Hercules. We see D. Miwo on Poseidon. We see Jack without Daxter on Ganesh. Tinder doesn't work on Serenos, and Sneaky Beaver on Dodgy. On the side of on the sides of Heil, we see Cole from State Farm. We see Ravensmoke, Devastator on Scotty, and Warborn in solo lane as Bologna, with Godmaker making up the mid as Vulcan. Nothing much happening right now. Poseidon making the first move here in mid lane. Dodgy following it up, trying to get that damage up. Gonna aggressive me, and they're gonna clear wave much quicker than Nija and Vulcan there. Over in solo lane, we see Bologna doing what she does best, out clearing the Hercules, pushing him back, being a real bully here. Both sides in mid gonna go take their rightful speed buffs. No invades here thus far. Devastator and Gev doing a pretty good job. Serenos already a half up along with Ganesh, having a hard time keeping up with that, even though they should have the superior clear here. Bologna getting her blue buff at the 1 minute mark here. It's pretty important. She has the blue buff. Dodgy and Herc going to take his blue buff, but he's gonna miss out on most of the wave. Bologna missing it the same amount, should anyways. Perhaps Herc missing out on actually a little bit more. Bologna Bologna might go into tower here. Herc chasing her. He has his heal up, so that means he won't be knocking her under tower here, unfortunately. Looking over in dual lane, we see Cern and Ganesh go take red with the help of Poseidon. They took small purple creeps on their way over. And that's gonna be Heil stealing the purple buff here real quick. Dodgy fighting for these, and it looks like Krew's gonna get him. And Ravensmoke gonna take a huge chunk of health fighting for those oracles there. John Vulcan taking that red buff. Ravensmoke getting that health back from the sustain that Mumba's mask provides. Bologna and Hercules boxing over in solo lane. The repetitive dance of death continuing as Dodgy rotates on over, teleports in, looks for that swipe, and could he go down? And she goes down to Tyler Stewart. First blood has been drawn by Krew. Good rotation. Hercules ulting the wave in celebration, perhaps. As we see Ninja and Vulcan going for these fire creeps, trying to limit the damage and the XP they gain off that first blood there. Dodgy still going in even deeper. There's the missed sash out of Ninja. And Dodgy teleporting onto Ninja. Dodgy ulting. And Diminuo gonna get the kill onto Raven Smoke there. Not a good start for Heil here thus far. Cole from State Farm alone in lane now with Scotty. Comes back. Vulcan fighting desperately in mid lane. Poseidon, Dodgy going in. And the Herc missing his charge. Dodgy out. And Vulcan back flare. Can Poseidon land the basic? Hercules still chasing. Hercules tanking the tower for that. Warburn gonna come and get Diminuo from behind. There's a charge out of Bologna. Bologna with the Scourge and Raven Smoke cleaning up that kill. Putting the score at 2-3. That team fight could have gone a lot better if Krew had known when to back out and had their wards up. Looking at wards placed, I believe the only person that's placed a ward is on the side of Krew in the dual lane. Looking at player damage now, Bologna already ahead significantly. Herc right behind her though. And Geb going in here, trying to get that poke off as Scotty comes in. Again, Nash gonna silence him, stop him. Colder gonna be called back after doing a decent poke with his charge there. It looks like there's some action going on in this jungle here. Nisha clashing a bit with Poseidon and Hercules backing off both sides here. Scotty and Geb trying to take this red buff, but Tinder doesn't work, tries to keep it at bay. There's the ultimate out of Ganesh. Ganesh popping his ult, then it's followed up by the Geb ult, and then we see the Dodgy teleport, followed by the current Serenos ult into the Poseidon ult, and we see Scotty go down here. Sneaky Beaver, Tyler getting the kill on Warburn while this action progresses in dual lane here. Raven Smoke going to rotate back to mid. Heil getting collapsed on every time they go into the enemy's jungle here. Time for them to start thinking about stop trying to go for those invades and focus more on their jungle here. Dodgy getting away here, as I've been told. Dodgy is super buff right now. With that fire, she's going in. There's the bleed. And is she gonna? Oh, and she lands a chain in Najah, getting hit 3 times. That is crazy. I thought it only worked for. I thought beads only worked for the first chain he got hit with. Anyways, oh, and Dodgy getting another kill onto Geb, and she's gonna get away. Vulcan ulting looks like it's gonna land shy. The nuke did not land. Devastator clearing this purple buff really quick. Heil having a hard time fighting this out here right now. They're behind 4, but looking at their team comp, it seems to lean a little bit towards the late game with that Vulcan and I think Vulcan and Scotty becomes a threat throughout the whole game. Most of their team is consistent throughout the game, but once Vulcan comes online, it should be terrifying. Looking at the builds right now, we see that Gab building Watcher's Gift, Lono's Mask, Traveler's Boots. His counterpart, Ganesh, building the same. In solo lane, we see Herc building that Bluestone Power Boots into Jotun's Wrath. Ganesh ulting over here in dual lane. Sneaky Beaver getting another kill. Geb having to roll on out to get away. Back to build, we see Bologna going for that Deathwalker build, going for the Ninja Tabby instead of Warrior Tabby. Looks like there's some action in the jungle over here in solo. Backing on off. Bologna actually behind the Hercules now, and damage Dodgy ahead of her as well. Bologna looking like she DC'd. Oh, nope, coming back to game there. Herc just checking, good sportsmanship on his part there. Checking to see if Bologna was still there. Colder doing a chunk of health there with that lunge, crazy amount. Vulcan put his turret to the side, trying to stop that Hercules from rotating, giving him a little warning that he's not going to be tolerated here. Looks like the rotation and dueling is real. Scotty having to retreat using her ice pond to get away. And Geb ulting, followed up by the Vulcan ult. Let's see if this lands, and it does not. Cole from State Farm gonna be fine there. Cole from State Farm along with Godmaker gonna be kicking themselves there. I don't think that ultimate went to the best use. It wasn't involved in a team fight or anything. If the Geb had been, I think Geb is Blink, right? Blink Geb? No, yeah, it's a Blink Geb. So Geb can come in from anywhere in those team fights. It's gonna be terrifying when he comes in. Over in solo lane, let's check it out. Bologna backing while Hercules goes into the jungle with Dodgy to take what I can only assume are fire creeps really quickly. While Vulcan pushes up and clears wave with his turret. And there we see the turret again, just chunking down the Ganesh there. The potency of Vulcan's abilities is undeniable. It's quite terrifying, in fact. There's the Vulcan ult into the Geb. Geb taking out Sneaky Beaver there. And it looks like Najash trying to find a chance to come on in. Hercules attempted to rotate, but not going to. See Poseidon getting pushed back there, knowing when not to engage. It looks like they actually secured the speed buff there with the Poseidon Whirlpool. Hercules might go down here to the Bologna. If Bologna has ult, she can chase him under tower, but Bologna doesn't seem to have ult and doesn't go for it. Over in dual lane, we see Scotty and Serenos 1v1ing or 2v1ing, and as most of you would agree that Scotty is two gods in one. Sending the dog after him and putting him on the ice pond, putting him on thin ice there. But he's able to use the tower to his advantage and back out instead of go towards her, thankfully. And action is going on over there in solo lane. Bologna having been hit with the chains, but getting saved by Geb. And Ganesh coming over here in the jungle, chasing this Bologna. Bologna picking up the blue buff and charging at them. Devastator going to get the kill on Diminu. And gonna be taking the oracles really quickly here, while Serenos stays in lane. Alright, and then we see Godmaker clear wave with his backfire very quickly, very cleanly. And using the turret, Bologna being ingressed on by the Herc charging, stunning her. And he's going back under tower. That Mystic Mail doing its job, getting the constant poke off on him. Over in the jungle, it looks like just sort of standoff. Both teams not really having anything to do here. Surprised to see Heil's bat camp's already down. They've already farmed that, got the XP for that, and Najah's gonna proxy farm as Vulcan and Poseidon. Najah rotates on. Looks like he's going on in, and there's the ultimate onto the Poseidon, followed up by the Vulcan ult, and Vulcan lands the ult. Poseidon pops his ult, but it's too little, too late. And there's a Ganesh appealing for his team as Najah comes on in. And he's gonna get chunked. Cole from State Farm taking him down. And Bologna just probably going to take this tower while no one's around. The hammer chunking it down. Blunt force and brute force winning the day. And the first, the first, oh god, Krew already has 2 towers down. Yep, solo lane tower going down. The brute force of Bologna coming into play here, making the difference for those 2 towers. The gold is right now 38,000 for Heil and 33,000 for Krew. There we see Bologna chunking into that as Herc pushes her towers, getting her blue buff, gonna rotate behind the unsuspecting Herc, probably pop her ult, and no, she's gonna get away. With little repercussion. Bologna's still going in on him though. There's no way for him to run, and Bologna choosing to back on off as action takes place in mid lane. Looks like Ganesh and Poseidon trying to push bully Vulcan on the lane as Vulcan retreats to go get his red buff. Adversary coming to help take this red buff real quick, and then choosing to back Vulcan in her. Rotating to mid as Herc continues to bot that lane, determined to get that tower there, and we'll see if he gets it here, folks, and evens up the tower a little bit here as Bologna followed by Poseidon goes on in to this left lane here. Bologna having to rotate out, that rotation coming to no avail as Tinder was warned of it ahead of time. We see Najah coming to stop that Hercules push from taking that tier 2. Bologna catching side of Dodgy and tower. Bologna, level 15, doing a good job. Geb coming on in, not going to connect though. Looks like he actually has the Emperor's armor, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, or something like that. Oh, and Hercules holding the speed buff to secure it for the jungle. Cole from State Farm rotating onto the Serenos, nothing coming of it with the Vulcan, but it looks like it's gonna be a potential team fight here if Everyone actually rotates on over at 17 minutes. This might be the first team fight of the game. And there we see Scotty going in on this unsuspecting Ganesh. Ganesh going to be completely melted by the Scotty and Bellona combo. None of the Krusty crew aware. Geb going on in for this dodgy. There's the Poseidon onto the Geb. Najah with the sash. But what is Dodgy doing? Looking for a chance to come back in and probably try to help. Ill-advised as Najah has his ult up looking over. He does not. Hercules finally rotating on into this action here, coming up behind the Vulcan. Vulcan backfiring, and he's gonna juke it out. And there we see the Bellona along with Geb and the Najah take the blue buff for themselves. And there it is, Scotty doing a quick job to do that. Looks like there no action still at 19 minutes. They're tiptoeing around it, but there's gonna have to be a team fight soon and hopefully some action. Bellona ulting it so she can do more power and have more effect. I believe it affects allies, but shock is her Inhumans sneaking the Gold Fury in at first Gold Fury of the game at 20 minutes. And there's Blink Geb ulting, followed up by the Poseidon ultimate with the Herc knockup. It's gonna hit two people directly, but not do much damage. I think Poseidon's behind. Dodgy ulting to try to resolve the situation. Doesn't look like any of her chains connected. Ganesh gonna ult, Devastator gonna get the quick kill there, followed up by the Volcanos. Ceranos coming in from behind. Ceranos retreating out of that team fight there, and Bellona looking like she might go down there, but the Geb gonna come in with the Emperor's armor and gonna reduce that attack speed of the tower, gonna save her life there. Vulcan gonna take a quick kill on that Hercules there. Bellona still in this fight. If Ceranos was involved, he could clean up quite nicely, but he's not, unfortunately. Looks like they take a quick portal demon there for the sides of Heil. So the rotation is finally happening here. Najah, Universal Ring Toss just bouncing between them. You can see it just constantly hitting them. Vulcan chunking down this Hercules. Hercules popping that heal to try to get back some of that health there. Vulcan backfiring to get away. Najah in a bad position here, looking like he might get collapsed on, but somehow not being. Bad decision on Krew to take him out there. He's pretty in vital part. Universal Ring Toss again, bouncing between the gods and just doing a fair amount of damage in poke, trying to keep them on their toes there. Bellona and Scotty. Oh, and there's the Najah ult landing. Looks like the Vulcan might follow this up. We all know that we've seen it quite a few times, that combo. And Tinder might go down if And there's the Vulcan. Oh, and there's the landing, and there's the kill there. Hercules trying to charge the Ninja, but unaware that the Ninja can't be charged at when he comes out of that ultimate like that with that bounce. Action happening in left lane as Bologna is below half health, and they take the tower there. Hercules rotating on over. There's universal ring toss going in on all those minions there, causing that anti-heal. I believe it has, looking at the effects. And Bologna looking like she's gonna go in 2v1 Dodgy coming in. Dodgy was a prominent force in the early game, but she lost a lot of that effect after Heil started to come back here. And it looks like nothing's going to happen over here, just some touch and go type action. Deja looking for a chance to get some damage off. Ganesh coming up from behind. He might be in trouble here if they can collapse on him. And there is the Dodgy teleport onto him. He ults away along the line, and the Gap ult comes in to stop them from any further aggression there. There's the knock up, and he looks like he's going to regroup there. Scotty, where is Scotty? Scotty along the line. Really interesting pathing for Calder there. Scott Devastator didn't get the kill on Tinder, doesn't work. Devastator, prominent force. There's a Bologna ult, followed up by the Vulcan ult landing, and it's gonna kill two people, I believe, followed by Ravensword getting the kill there, my bad. And that's gonna be the mid tower right there. Followed up by the Hercules ult. Not a bad ult there. It looks like he might be able to get away just because he's Hercules. But then the Scotty ult, and that's a root along with Calder just biting him in the ass. Unable to do much about that. And we see Heil taking this really quickly, but Dodgy looking like she wanted to steal. Not gonna happen though, but she's gonna be rotated on by Bologna. And if Bologna has her shield bash up, she will be slowed. But Scotty coming around to the side. Dodgy looking for the escape, but I don't think she's gonna get it here, folks. And she gets away somehow. And that's going to be all the towers on the sides of Krabby Krew. Krabby Krew down all towers. Inhumans only having lost one this whole game here. What started as a very strong game for Krabby Krew quickly turned to the side of Heil here. And here they wait for Portal Demon, looking for that more gold. Hercules seeing it, coming to fight it out, ulting to steal it, and it looks like Heil is gonna secure it there. And he's going to get away, no repercussions taken by the other team as they get that free back. Looking at wards placed, we see that Heil has the currently the most wards placed. Actually, maybe a little less, maybe more to the sides of Krabby Krew here. Looking at total time spent dead, we see that Ganesh along with Poseidon. Oh wow. Just generally, Krabby Krew has spent more time dead. Dodgy only spending 30 seconds dead, I believe, which is pretty important for her, despite the fact that she's really under-leveled compared to her counterpart, who is level 19 and she's only level 15. The difference, though, is the kill amount and the assist amount, which is huge, even though you don't realize it. Assists may seem irrelevant to most people, but it does help you get ahead. And there's the engaged by Raven Smoke with the Universal Ring, and there's the ultimate, followed up by the Vulcan. The Vulcan ult not going to land anywhere. And it looks like Herc might go down here, and Godmaker going to take him out quickly. Ja chunk this Phoenix down very quickly with the help of Scotty, and there goes down Ganesh. This looks like this might be game soon, but Poseidon, not going to do any damage as Raven Smoke Sanctuaries it. That's pretty sad there. Good reaction time by him, though, knowing when to pop that Sanctuary. And there's the knockup out of Geb. The sash missing. Looks like they're just trying to tunk this. There's the dodge. Geb not too worried about it. He is Geb the wall, and looks like Geb might go down here. The Tinder doesn't work. Warborn returning the favor on the kill. Devastator also getting vengeance for their fallen support there. Godmaker gonna take another kill and make that a 3-for-1 there. And Godmaker making a 4-for-1. That's a double kill for him, and that should be game 1 to the side of Heil. And that's game 1, folks. Thank you for watching. We will try to bring you game 2. We're not quite sure if we'll be able to. Unfortunately, we've had some technical difficulties with spectating. In fact, I didn't think we'd be able to cover game 1 at all. So please bear with us. It might be quite some time before we get game 2 up. I thank you for watching. I hope to see you next broadcast. But if you don't return, have a pleasant evening.